Hello, everybody. I wanted to discuss an important word with you. The word is moderation. Now, I'm going to make a suggestion that as Americans, we have lost all definition of this word. I can prove it in less than 2 minutes. First of all, if I lined up everybody on planet Earth in a line and I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if I said all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s and 6s, I want you to go to the left, and all of the 7s, I want you to go to the right. You are all part of the 7s. All of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6s, which is about 85% of the world's population, they all live on less than $20 a day. That's a statistical fact. Feel free to look it up for yourself. That is perhaps a disturbing fact to all of you, but the truth is that is the world we live in. And yet we think we know what moderation means. We have the ability as Americans to choose lifestyles, to choose what we want to eat, when we want to eat, etc., etc. We have entitlement written on our foreheads. Now, what have we done with that? We've made ourselves sick. We've made ourselves addicted to various substances, especially alcohol and pharmaceutical drugs and the like. We rely on them. And I will tell you that the cost of this is evident, right? All we have to do is look around and ask yourself, do we see the model of health in America when we have all of the financial ability to be the healthiest country on planet Earth? We're the opposite of that. Now, when I started the UTC, people would come to me because they wanted to be held accountable. They wanted an 8-week program where they could learn, be held accountable, and get dramatic results. And what I tell people very simply is this: look, how long did it take you to get to this situation? You're 30 pounds overweight, 40 pounds overweight, 80 pounds overweight, whatever it is. You've had type 2 diabetes for however long you've had it, or whatever health issue you've had going on, digestive issues, etc. Most of the time, it's years or decades. So how long should it take to reverse that? Now to get to that situation, just recognize that that person was not living a life of moderation. That person was living a life of extreme. Now, in order to fix that, what do you think the person has to do? Well, the person certainly has to start living in moderation. But again, I ask you, do you think that anybody really knows what moderation is in America? Now, I will tell you this. I'll just use myself as an example. When I signed up as an 18-year-old to go into the Army Reserves, I went away for 6 months where I had to eat what they told me, do what they said. You know, I couldn't go out and go to restaurants or do any of that stuff, right? I was up at 4 a.m. and did all the stuff I needed to do for 6 months to train. And for 8 years, I put in the commitment that if I was called to duty to go overseas for a year and get shot at or whatever it was, that's what I was going to do. And as you all know, many, many soldiers do that. They walk away from their families for a year, and they're put in extreme conditions in order to protect this country. That is just one example of extreme things that we're asked to do for the health of this nation, meaning to keep it America. And other people make that sacrifice. What sacrifice are you willing to make for your own body in order to get healthy? Because I'm only asking for 8 weeks. Now, I just want you to think about if it's taking many years for you to get to a particular point in your life, as far as what your health is, don't you agree that there should be a healing time? Now, that healing time could take, several months. And for some people, depending on how bad it is, it could take, up to a year. But just acknowledge the fact that we need to shift what we think moderation is. Moderation, when you use your own life as a model, you may say, well, I'm only going to do these bad habits in moderation. Well, what does that entail? Compare it to the larger population who's not doing it at all. There's no such thing as moderation for a sick person. You wouldn't say to the alcoholic, hey, listen, you're only going to drink, 12 ounces of wine tonight instead of the entire bottle. Everybody recognizes the problem with that. You wouldn't say to a crystal meth addict, hey, listen, you're only going to smoke half as much crystal meth as you're taking now. And anywhere along that spectrum, when you're dealing with somebody who's sick, mentally or physically, you need to treat the person accordingly. And that means getting the person off of whatever it is that they're addicted to. And guess what? As I've said to you, and many of you have experienced firsthand, you get somebody off of sugar, they're going to have the appropriate withdrawal symptoms. Now, I've said in many cases, this only usually lasts 3 to 4 weeks at most, but it's worth it. So everybody, moderation. You're one of the 7s. You're a 7. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s, and 6s are living on less than $20 a day. The entitlement that you have written on your forehead, what are you doing with it? Okay, you are privileged to be in a society that allows you to live a life of incomprehensible abundance. So give back by making sure your body is healthy, making sure your children are healthy, making sure this country gets healthier, and we'll all be better off. Have a great day, everybody.